Hi there, this is Luisa Heinzel. Welcome to my channel Junk Journal Art and welcome to another episode of the fast flow stitching method that you can use to bring some really awesome effects to your junk journals. So this is a collaboration that was brought to life by Joey DeFee, and there are some other really gorgeous people within this collaboration. They are also making some videos on this fast flow stitching method. They are showing you some ideas as well. So these ladies are Tracy Fox, oopsala, from Love Junk Journals, Gail Agostinelli, Barbara, known as 49 Dragonflies, Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodah, Rachel from Roxy Creations, Helen Colebrook, and I'm still not sure if I say her name right, so Helen, I'm so sorry. This is such a crazy name. Then Artie Mays and Meg from Meg Journals. So if you want to see more ideas on this fast flow stitching idea, please check out their channels. I have also a whole playlist where all the videos that were published here within this little thingy here are in, so please check out the info box. Everything's listed down below there for you. So today I would like to try to create some journaling spots on some junk journal pages with this fast flow stitching method. So I'm using some die cuts, as you can see here, some stickers, some butterflies, and these butterflies will get some feelers here. And for my pages, I'm using normal copy paper that I have coffee dyed. So, and here's a little girl as well. I found her and I thought she's so alone that she perhaps can be a great focal point on one of our pages. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to take a page and fold this page in half so that I can see where I want to have my journaling spots, so that I don't sew accidentally here over this thingy here, over this fold. That would be not so great. So I think we are going to do 2 pages today. Let's see. And I've decided that I want to make some round journaling spots today, and for that plan I've cut out some of these things here with my die cut machine. So this is some ledger paper, some book pages, some more coffee dyed paper with some interesting things here on top. This is some lighter scrapbooking paper. You can use everything that you want for this, but as you can see, some of them are some of them are really great as they are to journal on. So the coffee dyed paper, of course, would be no problem. Take a pen and write something on top. The scrapbooking paper would be no problem as well. And this ledger paper has these great lines here so that you can use those as a guide to write. But these book pages here are a little bit of some kind of a problem that you can't write on them as they are. So the solution is, as always, white gesso. So before we go to the sewing machine, we will prepare these things and put some white gesso on top of these circles here. So I think we are going to need 2. So let me put those there. I think 2 are enough. So I'm just putting this here, and now you can take a paintbrush or your finger tool and bring this around. And I think I have way too much here, so let me just get rid of this. And this white gesso is not very high quality. So if you have a gesso that is really good, then please use a thin layer so that you can still see some of this writing from the book page through it. So I like to make a little bit more of the gesso into the middle of this thing, and then I'm just taking a wet baby wipe. I'm going around here like so to get some of the gesso off, but only from the edges. Here you probably will not write something, so that this interesting look of the book pages can come through here on the edges, and that you have the gesso only in the middle. And now it's blended really, really well, and you have no edges here from the gesso. And then I'm just drying this thing with my heat gun. Okay, so when this is dry, it looks like this. And then I think we can take our first page. So let me just place it like this. I think this side is a little bit more interesting. And then we can decide how we want to arrange this. And I think for this, my page is a little bit too light. I think I would like to have a page that's a little bit darker. So of course we could also use this thing. That's a page that I've colored with some brush colors. I've laid some leaves here on top, and then I put some brushes and layer the paper like a sandwich, and afterwards I had this page here. What do you think? Is this nice as well? I think so. Yeah, especially with the coffee dyed paper, that's really nice. So I think on the coffee dyed paper itself, this is a little bit invisible, but if you have more contrast, that could be really great. And of course, you could also distress the edges a little bit. So I think we have to do one coffee dyed paper and one of this. Yeah, sorry for this confusion, but sometimes I have some really strange things in my mind. And I want to show you yeah, the possibilities and the things that are going on in my head, and sometimes that's a little bit weird. So please excuse that. But I think we will distress these before we do anything else. So let's take such a distress brush tool thingy, and I like to use my distress oxide ink for this, because I think on all of these papers it looks really gorgeous, especially on the gessoed paper. And what I would like to recommend is to take some different sizes. So as you can see, I have two sizes here. One of these circle thingies is a little bit bigger, and the one is this one is a little bit smaller. And I think if you want to make some layering with this, for example, like so, with these birdies here, that looks really cool, I think. If you have different sizes, then it looks really cool. I want to have all of the three birds here, so I will just put this thing here as a single journaling spot. And now, just to hold that in place, I'm putting a little bit of glue here to my piece, so that I can put that where I want, and I want to have the lines relatively straight. I mean, not like so. And I can hold this in place until I go to my sewing machine. And since I have the glue only here in the middle, I will have no problems, because we will go and sew around here later, so that we will have no problems with the glue and our sewing machine, because that will not come in contact. So here I think we have no chance. We have to use this darker one. Shall we take 3? Oh, perhaps like this. Why haven't I distressed this one? Can someone tell me that? Perhaps like so. That's cool. I think that's cool. So I've distressed the wrong pieces. Okay, so Luise, don't stress yourself. Just go around here and bring some of the ink here to these pieces. I just wanted to save some of these pieces for the German version of my video. So you know, I'm always making my content in English and in German. While I was thinking about this, I thought, okay, if I can use these circles for the German video, then I don't have to take out my die cut machine again and cut some more circles out. But yeah, okay. So probably we could put this here to the left side of this page. So here's the middle, and I think it looks great if it's not totally in the middle here, so that it's a little bit on the left side. Okay, so let's just glue this here the same way like here. So just in the middle of this circles. And now I'm gluing. The wrong side is looking better than the right side. But I can't take it the other way around because this is the wrong side of the die cut and we have this little, yeah, like sewn line here. No chance, have to put it that way that it was before. And I like to glue the top and the bottom one first so that I can see, the distance here and also here and here, and then I can place this thing to the middle. Of course, we could also put it like so. That would be also a really cool thing. Or we do it straight like we thought before. Yeah, really hard decision. Of course, at this point, you can also take out some of your things that you have and you can place them here and see if that would work. And if you want to have something here, I think with this girl, this would look really cool. Also, perhaps when we take a butterfly, yeah, I think it looks better when this goes out a little bit. So, I've just changed my mind, but that's normal. And that's good, I think. Okay, so then we have this. And I think now we are going to take the other page as well and fold that in half so that we can do the same thing on this page. Okay, so when we have this, then we can grab some random things and go to our sewing machine. So I have this little thingy here. You know that from my last video, I have collected some things that would match the colors of this project and of these pages. And for the other video, I made some frames around my pages. If you have missed that, please check out the info box. There are all the videos that you probably want to watch. And for that other thing, for the other pages, I used relatively big pieces. So now I'm taking the rest. That's nothing new. It's only the rest what I had left over, and that's heavy. And I'm just cutting this into smaller pieces because the things that we want to sew now are much smaller. I will sew only around the circles here. And for that, I will need some really tiny pieces that it looks not so overloaded a little bit overloaded perhaps, but not too much. And yeah, you know, smaller pieces are needed. And the focal point, or I mean the eye, not the focal point, that's the wrong word, but the eye shall go to this journaling spot later and not so much to the rest and to this decoration around. So you will see in a second what I mean. Okay, so here I'm on my sewing machine, and I would like to start on this single circle here, because I think that's the most easiest way and yeah, the most easiest thing to explain. And now I'm starting to sew around here. And probably you could think, oh, that's great. Here, this die cut has this little line that already looks like some kind of sewing. Hopefully you can see that. And normally, with a normal stitching, a normal sewing machine action, you would probably think I line this thing here from my sewing machine foot with this line here when I sew around to get a relatively round circle. But now I will not do that. This is fast flow stitching. There are no rules on the one hand, and there are no things that you know from regular sewing. I mean, we don't want to have a regular circle now. And for some of you that might be some kind of challenging, I know, because some of you are really sewing experts and you sew every day, and you perhaps you sew your own clothes or something like that. Please try to get really free from all those rules that you know from the normal sewing, and yeah, hopefully that will work. So I will start, and yeah, let's try that. And I'm also now trying to get some of these tiny bits and pieces here under my thread so that I can sew them here around this little thing, this journaling spot. We can also, of course, use some other stitching in between. So this is a really small zigzag stitch. So now I'm changing to a straight stitch to get more interest to this whole thing. And as you can see, I'm also going out of this whole thing. In the end, hopefully that will make sense to you and that will look really interesting and really great. Okay, so that's probably a little bit too much, but let's see. What else do we have here? Probably a piece of this little ticket here on the bottom. Okay, so I think that's enough. So let's cut this off. So now this looks like, so I know you can't see this so well. I will show you that in a second in detail and from another perspective so that you can see it better. So now let's go on with the other circles, and I'm doing the same like I did before. I'm just, yeah, taking some of my crazy things here and sew them down. And of course, you can also go from one circle to the other, as you have seen a second ago, so that you don't have to cut the thread. Of course, you could also go from this page there to the other page with the sewing. That would look also really great. I haven't thought about that before, but try to lift this foot only for putting the things underneath, and not try to do this in one flow and not stopping so much with cutting the thread and starting from new and that stuff. I think that's the most fun way to do that. What about some of this stuff? Don't know how that can work, but let's try it out. Okay. Then we have that. So I think we can take the other one. Okay, so here we go. Here we have our 2 pages. Now they look like this, and I still like them. So I would say you could leave this like it is and put it into your journal, and you would have a great page and a great space for some journaling here. But I would like to decorate this a little bit so that I can show you also how versatile this method is and how versatile those pages are. So I think first of all we can go with what we already have decided, and that's this little girl that can go somewhere here. And I think this is absolutely cute. These things that I have here, so this girl and also these florals that I want to use are stickers. So these are washi stickers, and the girl, yeah, it's some kind of a washi sticker as well. But I will not use them as they are meant to use. So I will not peel off this plastic here, but I will glue them with some glue. That has a really simple reason. If I would use this as a sticker, then I would have many problems with the fabric and the sewing underneath, and the sticker cannot be glued totally here to this thing without any waves and that stuff. If I use glue, then I will not have these problems. But I'm also searching for a point here, a place where I can glue this relatively flat. So this here is a little bit of a problem, so it's a little bit bulky. So what about here? What about this one? So now I will take her and just glue her to a piece of paper, and I will not take off this plastic, but I will just glue this to another piece of paper so that it is not shining through. So I mean, this green flower, this floral thing will not shine through. And I glue it with the plastic underneath so that this whole thing gets a little bit thicker and a little bit more sturdy. Like so. And now we can put her here and we'll have no problems with those things that are underneath. And what I also like for this kind of journaling spots is to add some words or that stuff. So I have this little box here where I have already cut out some words from magazines and that stuff. I have everything in here. So this says in our world in German, in unserer Welt. Some little German lesson here as well. In unserer Welt, in our world. I think that's also great, but that's really yellow. Oh, I have something. This says im Wald. That means in the forest. I think that would be great as well. I will just distress the edges with a green ink. Yeah, I think with the green ink or with with vintage photo. We will use vintage photo. I think if we would use green, the focal point of this thing will be destroyed a little bit. So let's just do it like so. And of course, we could also now go to the sewing machine and sew this instead of gluing it. I mean, oh, we have a green thread in the machine, so that would be nice. Let's just fix that. So that makes probably an additional frame around this as well. And I will just sew that. So now it's like this. And I've just decided that I want to go only here with the sewing. And since I've glued this, this will stay in place. But I think this is a great addition to this label. And I would say that this is nearly finished. I just want to add some tiny splatters of white gesso that I've watered down a little bit. So I have this bottle that one day was nearly empty, and I just filled it up with some water so that I have my thing here all the time, so that I don't have to make it new every time I want to use it. And now I'm just covering up the little girl, and this also. I take this brush that's not totally clean because I tried to get some splashes that are not totally white. If they get white, I'm okay with that, but if they get a little bit gray or that stuff, it's okay. So this thing was also not totally clean. Yeah. Spritz to your table, Louise. You want to have it on your paper, but you can also spritz to your table, no problem. Just here and there. Then we have that, and we can move on to this other page. so here we go. I would say this is finished now. And I'm really happy with this result, and of course I'm always hoping that you like it as well. Please leave a comment what you think about this. And yeah, I've just put this together with the pages that we've made the last time on the sewing machine. So this one I've showed you in the last video of this series, and I think this makes a perfect signature. So yeah, as you can see, here's the other page, and I decided that I only want to decorate the half of this both pages. I mean, this is sewn around and I've put these little scraps, but I did nothing else to leave it, yeah, a little bit more calm. And on the other side of this, where is it? Here. We did this thing here. So I think that's totally enough for this project or for this journal that I have in my head with these pages. Of course, you can do that like you want it, and you can decorate it as much or less as you want. And I think this white gesso on coffee dyed paper was a really good idea, especially to let that air dry. Can you see these little, yeah, the paper, no, not the paper, but the coffee has bleeded out a little bit. And that's because, yeah, of the liquid of the white gesso. And then you get this really, really cool frames around your splashes. And I think that only works if you let it air dry. I'm really happy with this effect. So here you can see that also. It's not such big thing, but yeah, some kind of a, I would say, little detail that makes for me a big difference. I really like this optic. Okay, so I hope you liked this idea, and hopefully you will try something like this by your own. And please also check out the other channels and the other creators that are joining this fast flow stitching collaboration. The links are down below in the description box, and I would be really happy if you visit their channels if you don't already know them, but if you know them, please visit their channels as well. Spread some love, leave some nice comments and some nice words, some new idea perhaps. Let's get into a really close contact within this collaboration, and let's exchange some ideas and get new inspiration. Have a very great day, be creative, and see you the next time. Bye bye!